We're headed to the United States Supreme Court to hear arguments in Murthy versus Missouri and National Rifle Association versus Vullo.
So the First Amendment prohibits the government from directly censoring, compelling, or otherwise abridging speech. But what we see in these job owning cases, Murthy and NRA, is the government trying to get around that direct constraint.
While the First Amendment prohibits official actions against government pressuring private entities for their speech, this involves a violation that is in many ways worse, because there's no due process.
By doing it informally, by sort of nudge, winking them into taking action against our protected speech.
I don't think any court injunction can really stop job owning. There's no fine line that can ultimately be drawn. At the end, that building over there needs to act in imposing disclosure on government communications with platforms.
Today's cases, along with others that in front of the court this term, will determine the relationship between government and social media platforms. It will, in effect, determine what kinds of free speech rights are going to exist for online media.
So long as this is going on in the dark, so long as we don't know what exactly they're saying, how they might be pressuring platforms to remove user speech, there will always be this floating concern. You know, you won't be able to dispel the cloud of suspicion that someone's pre-pruning your information.
And social media platforms have their own First Amendment rights, and they're infringed when the government puts excessive pressure on them.
And if that is allowed to continue unchecked, there's kind of like a First Amendment dead zone.
And so even a very carefully crafted injunction won't do the work that just requiring government communication with platforms to be published out in public would do.
You know, we supported free speech. When I grew up, it was all about anti-authoritarianism, anti-establishment. You know, there were protests on college campuses when I grew up. You know, where are all those people now?